Victor explains things he doesn't understand. Well, shit. Guess I know everything. Hello? A sale on button-up short sleeves? I'll be right there. I rather hate to do this to my own brother, but if he wins this 100 subscribers challenge, his ego will inflate and his ambitions will know no bounds. I can only hope that he will forgive me. That's not even dramatic, that's just stupid. Hello, I'm Victor, and this is the Junkyard. Today we're going to be looking at an inexplicably popular film. It's called Citizen Kane.
After setting up the film's MacGuffin in the form of some last words, the film starts, I'm not kidding, with a 10-minute newsreel explaining the life story of the main character, Charles Foster Kane. Any other director would have tried to establish their characters through dialogue, but Orson Welles must have thought that would be too difficult. In any case, we soon see the newsreel being reviewed by some newsmen. Rather than use this informative piece of journalism to quickly commemorate the passing of a popular figure, the head newsman sends one of his men off to figure out what Rosebud, the hastily established last words, mean, giving him a 2-week deadline.
Really? So if it turns out that Rosebud is just the name of his favorite drink, or random gibberish of a dying mind, you're going to delay putting out the newsreel announcing his death for a fortnight? This film may have the flimsiest premise I have ever seen.
Anyway, the rest of the film follows the reporter as he researches into Kane's life for the name Rosebud. First stop, an angry, drunk ex-wife. Learns nothing, moving on. Next stop, the library. There he gets to see Kane's life through the eyes of Mr. Burns, Mr. Thatcher. Thatcher had taken the young Kane away from his family in some special agreement, something that the boy didn't respond kindly to. Throughout this scene, I should mention, the actors keep stepping on each other's lines, sometimes talking completely over other characters. This is shoddy direction at its finest, and makes it seem like half the characters in the scene don't even care what the other half are saying. Anyway, we see Kane grow up into a manipulative newsman, and then a failed newsman, all the time being the same snarky little bastard towards Thatcher that he'd always been.
Kane, your mother was Mrs. Havisham, and your father was an extra from Green Acres. Mr. Thatcher removed you from their care. Their worst fates.
Well, the reporter then goes to one of Kane's business partners, who proceeds to waste a few minutes of both the reporter's and the audience's time talking about life, memory, and value. I'm almost relieved when it cuts back to a flashback about Kane starting a newspaper. There we learn that Kane is a sensationalist, yet seems to respect the truth. He fights for the average citizen, yet seems to think himself their better.
Tell me how I can hope to identify with a character who is himself a series of contradictions. A second draft might have fixed a few of these obvious mistakes.
Well, after several scenes hyping Kane's upcoming marriage to the president's niece, they fail to really show her. I guess we have to wait for the next flashback. Indeed, reporter then goes to talk to Kane's other business partner, a senile old man who spends several minutes rambling, before once again cutting back to a flashback, this one about Kane's marriages and their inevitable failures. First, he and a prim and proper lady grow apart. He meets a new woman, tries to run for office, and both his marriages and political aspirations are ruined when a competitor accuses him of cheating on his wife. Then the business partner, who had apparently managed to be doddering even before reaching old age, spends several minutes outlining Kane's faults.
As entertaining as that is, I have to say that this is one of the most unfocused mystery movies I've ever seen. What does any of this have to do with figuring out what Rosebud means?
Anyway, we next go to Kane's second ex-wife again. She flashes back and, let me make it short, things don't work out between them. Next we go to the butler.
Ah! Well, that was the most violent scene transition yet.
Which is appropriate, as the butler's flashback just shows Kane demolishing a bedroom. He then picks up a snow globe and says, Rosebud.
Wait, so the snow globe is No, that would be stupid. Rosebud isn't some random toy.
So, after talking to the butler, Reporter and his colleagues go downstairs to look at Kane's collection of junk. Reporter says some pretty words to cover up the fact that he never figured out what Rosebud was. The camera then pans over the junk to a sled being sent to the incinerator, with a logo written on it saying, Do you mean that I watched this entire film, saw this man's entire life story through the eyes of those who knew him best, even though none of them likely even knew him at all, just to have the solution to the film's big mystery just get thrown randomly at the screen a few seconds before the film's end? Did a 5-year-old write this?
This film was a mess, beyond its story failings. The director didn't even seem to know where to put the camera. At every conceivable angle. Poison. You lied about that shirt sale. That's what you get. Well, I'm gonna head down and get some ice cream. Do you wanna... Oh, that's right.